welcome everybody to our lesson for today. My name is Alastair. I am your conference teacher for the lesson today. Let's have a look at the lesson for today. Here it is. It is called Describing Scenery and Landscapes. Vocabulary for nature walks, travel, and outdoor activities. Okay, very nice. Okay, well, let's have a look at the first part of the lesson, which is our agenda. So we've got 4 parts to the conference today. Number 1, the basics of describing scenery. Number 2, interacting while describing scenery. Number 3, practical use in travel and outdoor activities. And number 4, conversation strategies for talking about landscapes. Okay, fantastic. Well, let's get started with part 1 on the agenda. Okay, so we've got a top tip for you, of course, to try and recall some of the vocabulary used, and some of the language used during the lesson. Try to put down some notes as you go, as there may be an exercise for you to do within the lesson structure. Okay. So part 1, the basics of describing scenery. Why describe scenery? Okay, well, when we describe scenery, we create images in the listener's mind. Words can transform a simple place into an unforgettable experience. So think of the difference between saying, number 1, a place with trees, and number 2, a beautiful green forest filled with towering pines. Okay, the first sentence is very factual. The second sentence, it has descriptive language. So we can create images in the listener's mind. A beautiful green forest filled with towering pines. So let's check in with some vocabulary straight away. We've got some vocabulary here for natural landforms. So I'm going to read through the list of vocabulary. I will repeat each word twice. Here we go. Number 1, mountains. Mountains. Valleys. Valleys. Rivers. Rivers. Lakes. Lakes. Cliffs. Cliffs. Beaches. Beaches. Number 7, forests. Forests. Plains. Plains. Deserts. Deserts. Jungles. Jungles. Waterfalls. Waterfalls. Paths. Paths. Okay, so there we have some vocabulary for some natural landforms. Okay, guys, so just a quick repetition from me. We want to try and keep your microphones off during the presentation, just to make it as easy for everyone to hear as possible. Thank you so much. Okay, well, let's continue and have a look at the next part here. So we have some examples using vocabulary. Let's have a listen to these examples. There are many mountains in this region. I love those cliffs. Look at the colour of that lake. The forest seems very interesting. Okay, there are many mountains in this region. I love those cliffs. Look at the colour of that lake. That forest seems very interesting. Okay. Okay, guys, well, let's continue. We've got some more vocabulary here, this time for some descriptive adjectives. So adjectives are a great way to help us describe landscapes as they add extra meaning to our language. They add description. So here we have a list of descriptive adjectives. Let's have a look at these. Number 1, breathtaking. Breathtaking. Picturesque. Picturesque. Majestic. Majestic. Charming. Charming. Wild. Wild. Untouched. Untouched. Tranquil. Tranquil. Dramatic. Dramatic. Okay, so some more very useful vocabulary in the form of descriptive adjectives there. Well, let's have a look at a further dialogue, this time between Thomas and Brittany. Okay, Thomas. Look at that valley stretching forever. Brittany. It's breathtaking, especially with the river winding through it. I love how the forest sounds I love how the forest surrounds it with deep green. Nature never needs decoration. It's already art. Okay, well, let's have a listen to that dialogue one more time. Thomas, look at the valley stretching forever. Brittany, it's breathtaking, especially with the river winding through it. I love how the forest surrounds it with deep green. Nature never needs decoration. It's already art. Right, very nice dialogue here. Well, let's think about our favourite spots. Okay, so we have a chat exercise for you if you wish to participate. Write in the chat, what's your favourite landscape and why you like it so much? Include some of the vocabulary that we have seen, if you can. Okay, so we're going to take a moment here just to have a look at some vocabulary in the form of our own sentences. Okay, so for example, I could write in the chat, I love a mountain landscape. I love a mountain landscape. I like to feel the force of nature in the mountains. Okay, great. We've already got a comment here as well from Raymond. Thanks, Raymond. I like the Alps because I enjoy hiking. Okay, of course. I'm sure we all know the Alps is a mountain landscape. So similar to Raymond, I love the Alps. I love the mountains. Okay, I love to feel the force of nature in the mountains. We've got another one here. My favourite landscape is the amazing nature and beaches in Thailand. Oh, yes. Okay. And I love waterfalls. They are amazing. Okay, very good. I love the beach. I love walking on the sand. Oh, yeah, the sand feels so good between our toes, of course. A beach at Thailand named Maya Bay is breathtaking. The beach is untouched and beautiful. Very nice. Okay, you've used untouched there. Excellent use of the lesson vocabulary. And I love the mountains of the Alps. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I understood. That's good. Okay, so, well done, guys. Some of you there giving your preferences, what you prefer, what you love in relation to different types of landscapes. Okay, we've got another one here. I prefer the cliffs in the south of my island. The contrast between the sea and the cliffs, the white and the blue, is dramatic. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Very nice, Sophie. So you've used really descriptive language. The contrast between the sea and the cliffs, the white and the blue, is dramatic. Very nice. Okay, guys. Well done. To those of you who participated there. It's great to try and start to use some of the vocabulary straight away. So, great start. Okay, I love the colours and of the lakes and mountains. Yeah, me too. So we've got some very common ideas of beautiful landscapes. We've talked about mountains, beaches, the coastline, where the cliffs are, of course. We've also heard about waterfalls. Okay, guys, well, we're going to continue, but excellent stuff. Well done. So let's have a look at the next part of the presentation. Number 2, interacting while describing scenery. So we've got some useful questions. Okay. So what does it look like? What does it look like? How would you describe the view? How would you describe the view? Is it peaceful or crowded? Is it peaceful or crowded? What stands out the most? What stands out the most? So let's check these questions in real situations. So in some real examples, what does the valley look like from up here? What does the valley look like from up here? How would you describe the forest we walked through? How would you describe the forest we walked through? Is the beach calm or full of people? Is the beach calm or full of people? What stands out most in the mountains? What stands out most in the mountains? Okay, so using these questions, we can interact with others and their experiences. Well, let's have a look at some expressions to help us give short descriptions. So we've got 6 sentences here for descriptions. Let's have a listen to each of those twice. The desert looks endless, stretching forever. The desert looks endless, stretching forever. The forest looks dark and mysterious. The forest looks dark and mysterious. The beach looks golden and bright under the sun. The beach looks golden and bright under the sun. The village looks small and quiet in the valley. The village looks small and quiet in the valley. The sky looks orange and pink at sunset. The sky looks orange and pink at sunset. The castle looks old and strong on the hill. The castle looks old and strong on the hill. Okay, some nice short descriptions. So we can also give richer descriptions. Okay, so when giving richer descriptions, we can add feelings and we can add comparisons too. Now, we can use little bits of English language to help us do that. We have 3 on the screen. Number 1, it reminds me of. Number 2, it feels like. And number 3, for comparison, it's as if. Okay, well, let's take a look at the following examples on the next screen. Here we go. The desert feels like an endless sea of sand. The desert feels like an endless sea of sand. The forest reminds me of a green ocean. The forest reminds me of a green ocean. The mountains are as if giants were sleeping under the snow. The mountains are as if giants were sleeping under the snow. The coast feels like a wild painting in motion. The coast feels like a wild painting in motion. The city at night reminds me of a sky full of stars. The city at night reminds me of a sky full of stars. Okay, well, let's have a look at some more questions, because part of conversation regarding our experiences with nature is to invite opinions. Okay, so questions that invite reactions. Number 1, do you like this view? Do you like this view? What do you think of the mountains? What do you think of the mountains? Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? Doesn't this look peaceful? Doesn't this look peaceful? How would you describe this landscape? How would you describe this landscape? Of course, sometimes we can feel very strongly about how we feel and that experience within nature. And we've got some sentences here to help us express strong reactions. Number 1, this is absolutely stunning. This is absolutely stunning. What a breathtaking sight. What a breathtaking sight. I truly love this place. I truly love this place. I can't believe how magnificent this is. I can't believe how magnificent this is. It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. Okay, so these sentences, wow, they express our strong reactions to nature. So here is a dialogue, this time between Camille and Brian. Let's have a listen to Camille and Brian. Camille, what does the lake look like from here? Brian, it looks turquoise and calm, almost like glass. Wow, it reminds me of a painting in a museum. Isn't it stunning? The mountains reflect perfectly in the water. Yes, I can't believe how peaceful this whole scene feels. It's one of those places you'll never forget. Okay, so a very nice exchange of description between Camille and Brian. Very nice indeed. Okay, well, let's have a look at some more. As we move into the next part of our conference today, practical use in travel and outdoor activities. Talking about weather in nature. Okay, now this is quite practical as it affects us in nature. So let's think about some examples. It's very sunny and the sky is clear. It's very sunny and the sky is clear. The air feels cool and fresh. The air feels cool and fresh. It's raining a little, but not too hard. It's raining a little, but not too hard. The wind is strong. Hold on to your hat. The wind is strong. Hold on to your hat. It's cloudy, but still warm enough to walk. It's cloudy, but still warm enough to walk. Okay, and another practical element is asking and giving directions outdoors. Of course, asking and giving directions. So we've got a couple of examples for asking and a few examples for giving. So, asking. Where is the camping area? How far is the lake from here? And then giving. Go straight, then turn left at the sign. Keep walking until you see the bridge. The path on the right takes you to the waterfall. Okay, now the next part here is to describe outdoor activities with action. Okay, so we're thinking about outdoor activities that have an action. Okay, so let's check out these examples. We walked for 2 hours on the trail. We walked for 2 hours on the trail. I swam across the small lake. I swam across the small lake. We climbed a hill and had lunch at the top. We climbed a hill and had lunch at the top. I rode my bike around the park. I rode my bike around the park. We played football in the open field. We played football in the open field. Okay, well, let's think now about expressing preferences about landscapes. So let's check out these examples too. Here we go. I prefer mountains. They are exciting to climb. I prefer mountains. They are exciting to climb. I like beaches because I can swim. I like beaches because I can swim. I enjoy forests. They feel calm. I enjoy forests. They feel calm. I prefer cities. There's more to do. I prefer cities. There's more to do. I like lakes. They are relaxing. Okay, so we've got some preferences there about landscapes. The fourth one, perhaps a preference about an urban landscape or a cityscape, not nature. Okay, well, let's have a look at the next part. Here we go. So storytelling for travel memories. If we want to recount stories to our friends after our travelling, we can use sample examples like these. We reached the top and the view was great. At night, we sat around the fire. We crossed a bridge and saw a river below. We walked in the rain, but had fun. We got lost, but finally found the road again. Okay, the last one there, not a great one, but perhaps one that we might experience. We got lost, but finally found the road again. Okay, so here is a dialogue. This time it's between Anna and Tom, and it relates to hiking in the mountains. Let's have a listen. Anna. Wow, the view from here is amazing. Look at the valley. Tom. Yes, it's so wide and full of trees. Do you want to take a photo? Sure. By the way, do you know how far the lake is from here? About 20 minutes if we keep walking straight. Perfect. I really want to see the waterfall too. Don't worry, it's on the same path. We can visit both today. Okay, so hiking in the mountains there. A short dialogue. Well, let's move on to the next part here. Conversation strategies for talking about landscapes. Okay, so we've got a few strategies. This is strategy number 1. Show interest with follow-up questions. Keep the conversation alive by asking follow-ups. Examples. Really? What else did you do? What else did you notice? Was it peaceful or busy? How did it make you feel? These are follow-up questions. And of course, this is a strategy to keep the conversation alive. Let's have a look at strategy 2, to paraphrase and react. So react by repeating or rephrasing with emotion. Examples. A turquoise lake? That sounds amazing. Number 2. So the desert looked endless. Wow, that must be unforgettable. Number 3. Snow-capped peaks. Oh, incredible. So this is paraphrasing and reacting. It's repeating what we've heard and introducing emotion to encourage conversation. Strategy number 3 is to share similar experiences. So connect with people by linking with your own memories. You've got some examples, of course. Let's have a look at number 1. That reminds me of a forest I visited last year. That reminds me of a forest I visited last year. I felt the same way at the beach last summer. I felt the same way at the beach last summer. And lastly, number 3, it sounds like the canyon I saw in Mexico. It sounds like the canyon I saw in Mexico. And strategy number 4, use imagination with hypotheticals, or use imagination and hypotheticals separately. Okay, so go beyond describing, imagine possibilities. For example, number 1, imagine painting this at sunset. It would be fiery red and gold. Number 2, if we camped here, the stars would look incredible. And number 3, it feels like a movie scene. Okay, so imagination and hypotheticals to help strategy number 4. Okay, guys, well, we've looked at lots of aspects of language to help us describe nature and landscapes today. Let's have a look at our conclusion before we finish. So, in conclusion, describing scenery and landscapes is not only about words, but also about sharing experiences. With the right vocabulary and expressions, we can make our travel stories vivid, give clear directions, and connect with others. Next time you walk outdoors or travel, try to notice details, use descriptive language, and enjoy how words can bring nature to life. Wonderful. Okay, guys, well, there we are. We have come to the end of our conference lesson for today. Thanks, everybody, for your attendance and participation in that chat exercise. But we have come to the end of the lesson. It just remains for me to thank you all on my behalf and, of course, on the behalf of Circle It Along. I will be back here next Monday. I hope you can all make it too. Until then, have a great week. Bye-bye.